The Reign of the Gila Monster by L. Ron Hubbard.
You heard me!
Bawled Howdy Johnson, banging his fist on the bar so hard that glasses rattled in every one of Ringtail's 6 saloons.
You can't deny it. You know doggone well that Powderville is the roughest, toughest, fightingest, rootin', tootin', 6-gun shootin' cowtown in the whole blam trail.
Well, I ain't said nothing to the contrary.
Oh, you
Pleaded
did?
the ruddy-faced barkeep.
Oh, you did. You did so. You said that Ringtail was wild. I heard with my own ears, I did. And there ain't any man this side of Laredo that can stand right in front of me and malign my town like that. You know Powderville is wild. You heard all about Powderville. Ringtail, bah! What's a ringtail? A collection of tombstones, that's what. A collection of skeletons. The only reason they laid it out was to bury it. You ain't had a killing in this town for 3 days. You ain't had to order a new bar mirror for a month. I'm surprised you don't peddle skim milk.
I just said.
So I'm a liar, am I? You trying to run down Powderville, are you? Well, listen, mister. In the West, 8 months I've been to Chicago, see? I've been in every town from Powderville to Chicago. And what do I find? I find a tame goats, that's what. Ringtail couldn't stand up 2 minutes against Powderville. Not 1 minute. Powderville is tough. There ain't nobody in that town that ain't a hard case. They're a nest of sidewinders, that's what. Loud? You can hear 'em all the way to El Paso on a clear night.
You, must be from Powderville, mister.
From Powderville? I'll say I'm from Powderville. And not only that, I founded Powderville. I'm the one the city fathers, I am. I'm one of them. I'm the gent that walked in there and I said, right here we're going to put a town. And it's going to be the roughest, toughest, fightingest town.
A hand fell on Howdy's shoulder, a consoling hand. Howdy turned to confront a sad-eyed, flop-eared, hang-jowled gentleman of travel-worn aspect.
Good gosh! If it ain't Poison Peters. Man alive, you sure are a sight for sore eyes. I've been to hell and back. I've been all the way to Shy, and I ain't had ary a good time for 8 long months. By God, it's sure dandy to see you, Poison. You and me can ride back to Powderville, and when we get there, I'll buy every drop in your mangy old saloon, and I'll just...
The saloon ain't no more.
What? What do you mean? There ain't no more bucket of blood saloon? What's the matter? It burned down?
No.
Tornado hit the place?
No.
Did they break you up complete?
It ain't that. It's the Gila Monster.
What kind of trash are you talking about?
It ain't no trash. It's the truth. Look here, Howdy.
They went to the door, and there in the dust of Ringtail was a wagon. On it rested a shattered mirror, a mahogany bar, 3 barrels of whiskey, and several hampers of glasses. Over all lay a sign on which was scrawled, Bucket O' Blood Saloon, Powderville's roughest, toughest, and the last 2 words were completely blotted out.
But what happened? Did business get bad, or...
Gone to hell.
No more trail herds, maybe?
Oh, lots of trail herds. Don't make me go on, Howdy. I can't stand to talk about it. It's just that awful.
But look here. You can't just up and quit like that. Good gosh. You was heart and soul of the town. You can't quit. You can't... What, you got no civic pride? We worked for 2 years to make Powderville the mecca of the trail, and now you pulled out just as though everybody's died.
It ain't that. It's the Gila Monster. It's awful, Howdy. It's horrible. I can't bear to talk about it.
Well, for gosh sakes, who's the Gila Monster? What kind of hogwash is that?
He's a man. He come to Powderville 5-6 months ago. Name of Gilman. Big gent, 7'2", shoulders like a hogshead, face like a pounded steak. He's tough. He's so good with a peacemaker, he can throw up a dime and hit it 6 times before it lights. He's so hard you'd bend a nail if you tried to drive one into him. He spitted a tarantula and the thing went blind. He bites spikes right in half. He can bend a shotgun barrel in one hand.
But that's the kind of gent we want in Powderville. Don't tell me he didn't enter into the spirit of the thing. Why didn't you talk to him and give him some civic pride?
I did. I must have talked too much. I gave him lots of civic pride, and the first thing you know, he went and appointed him town marshal. He says it's high time we reformed. He don't allow drinking after 6 o'clock. No gambling. Nobody in town can wear iron but him. Absolutely no killing allowed, no matter what you think of the other gent. And say you don't dare spit lessons, he fines you for it. He says we gotta levy taxes or something, and so he collects $10 a day from every man that wants to stay in the town. And he killed 4 fellas dead when they refused to pay it. Tax on a saloon is $50 a day. I tell you, Howdy, it breaks me all up just to think about it.
Why didn't somebody plug him?
Well, 2 gents tried it, and we had to pass the hat to bury him. I tell you, he's a panther riding forked lightning. Don't you go down there, Howdy.
Why not? Ain't I as good as he is?
No.
I'm mad. Here I've been counting on having a good old time in Powderville, and I come back to find out that everything is gone to hell for keeps. Well, let me tell you this, Poison. You may be lacking in civic pride, but I ain't. No, sir. Ain't no man living going to state that Howdy Johnson turned his back on his town. I'm going down there and
Please stay out of Powderville, Howdy. You got a wild reputation, and if you show your face down there, he'll shoot you down just like that. You wasn't never known as a good gunman, Howdy.
What? What the hell do you think I've been doing for 8 months? Killing?
I don't know.
Knitting, excuse me, and don't know what I've been up to? You ain't got the faintest idea what I've been up to. No, sir. Look here, Poison. I'm touched. I'm affected.
Okay.
There ain't nothing like this going to happen in my hometown. This is the time for action. This is the moment to blow charge.
You mean taps? No use, Howdy. You play safe. We'll start another town and we'll just...
Never. My heart is plumb set on Powderville. You going to let just one lone gunman run you out of there? No. These gunmen are all yeller. Every one of them is yeller.
Not the Gila Monster. Not Gilman, he ain't yellow. No, sir, he'll eat live lions and enjoy it, that gent. You stay out of Powderville or...
Even Hannibal had his Waterloo. And that goes for the Gila Monster. Turn that wagon, Poison. We're heading for Powderville right now.
Poison Peters had not in the least overstated Gilman. When the man sat in his swivel chair and stretched his feet out across the marshal's desk, he came close to filling up the whole building. His hat on the back of his head looked bigger than an umbrella, and his guns, lashed down, were only a shade smaller than howitzers. In short, Gilman, dubbed the Gila Monster, was colossal in size. But his temper was bigger than he was. When he got mad, he spat sparks longer than a bullet could carry. He was touchy. He had shot a man for buying him a drink. He had shot a man for not buying him a drink. He had civic pride, he said. He said, a reformer. He said, a lawful citizen bent upon saving Powderville from its vices. He had, everybody said, saved Powderville with a thoroughness which bordered on extinction. At the moment, he was talking in a mild voice. He was, in fact, in one of his more peaceful moods.
You just let any of them gents show up here. Just you let any one of them poke their nose inside the limits of our beautiful town, and Zoe, that's the way to do business.
Lippy Connor was standing in the doorway listening. Lippy beamed flabbily and nodded with sturdy enthusiasm.
You bet.
You just let any two of them, any dozen of them show up in Powderville, and I'll shoot so many holes in them you could use their hides for windows.
He waved a monstrous paw at the rough plank board on which many reward posters were tacked. It was highly unlikely that most of these advertised gentlemen would show up in Powderville, but Gilman lacked a subject for conversation. Lippy Connor peered at the designated board and beamed dutifully. Suddenly, the beam stiffened. His jaw slackened, and his eyes protruded.
Ain't that Howdy Johnson's name there?
Howdy Johnson? Who's Howdy Johnson?
Up there on the board,
said Lippy, pointing from the door. Said Gilman, like a saw hitting a nail.
Tiger Svensson? Black Bug Stewart? Gunner Thompson? Ah, there it is. Howdy Johnson. Yep, there it is. Third from the bottom, came in just a while back. Says, Howdy Johnson. Wanted dead or alive. $1,500 reward. If seen, notify Chicago police and ship body for identification. 5 foot 10 inches. Stocky build. Unshaven face. Blue eyes with a slight squint. Emphatic method of talking. Be careful of this man because he is dangerous. Has killed 3 police officers in Chicago alone while resisting arrest. Take no chances as he is very fast on the draw. When last seen, wore a buckskin vest, tan pants, high-heel boots, and a floppy hat. Deadly accurate shot. Antagonistic to all police.
Oh, gee, he got into it, he did. I never thought.
Never mind thinking. I do all the thinking there is to be done in this town. You know this gent?
Well, that is, I met him once in a bar. Yeah, that was it, in a bar. I was standing there and somebody looked over and said, that there's Howdy Johnson. And I said, oh, is that Howdy Johnson? And he said,
well, just you let that gent show his face in here.
Oh, I won't let him. I bet he sure is a long ways from here. I bet he's in California or maybe Oregon or maybe Canada.
A wagon creaked dismally in the street. A horse plodded to a stop. A cheerful, loud voice bawled,
Hello there, Lippy, you son of a gun. I ain't laid eyes on you for 8 months, and I sure...
Lippy had turned by this time. His face was lard-colored. He beheld Howdy Johnson dismounted and striding forward with an outstretched hand. Lippy achieved the ultimate in quick thinking. He shouted 10 times louder than a steam whistle. He yelled,
If it ain't Bill, how are you, Bill? Where you been, Bill?
all the time heading away from the Gila Monster's den.
Bill, what the dickens?
Yes, sir, Bill. I'm sure glad to see you. So help me. Where you been? How was Denver? Bill!
All the time, Lippy was shoving the astounded Howdy far out of earshot. Lippy leaned weakly against the side of a shack and mopped at his forehead with a quivering bandana.
Don't do that again. Don't ever do that again. Look here, Howdy. You got your horse right here. You fork him and light back quick. You hear me?
What's the trouble? What?
He was just inside the door, and he just finished reading a reward poster that says you would wanted dead or alive in Chicago. And he said that if you ever showed your nose in this town, he'd kill you on sight. That's what's the matter.
Oh, you mean the Gila Monster?
Sure. Who the hell do you think I'm meant? Saint Peter?
There you go. You boys sure seem upset.
Upset? Upset ain't no word for it. We're suffering from nervous breakdowns, that's what. I'm getting so I can't even lift a drink to my mug without spilling at least half of it.
But he hadn't ought to bother you. A general store is plenty peaceful business here in Powderville.
That's what you think? That's what you think? I sell shooting irons, don't I? Well, for every gun I sell, I have to give Gilman 20%. For every cartridge, I have to give him half price. For every pound of beans I sell, I have to hand him 10 cents. For every ham I'd give him.
Oh, Lippy broke down. He could not bear the recounting of his woes. Finally, he whispered,
They're gone, Howdy. Them good old days are gone. Powderville is quiet as a church. No scrapping, no arguing, no smoking on Sunday.
Gotcha. Why didn't you move like poison?
I tried to move, but I ain't like poison. I run the only general store in town, and if I moved, he'd shoot me and run the place himself. I tried to get away last month, but he trailed me. And he brought me back and he said he could kill me if I tried it again. I got to stay open. I can't raise my prices, but I got to pay his taxes. But you get out of here, Howdy, and you get out quick before he recognizes you. I hate to see an old pal slaughtered in cold blood. Howdy, I just couldn't step.
Howdy brought one hairy fist smacking into his palm.
Stand it.
He snorted.
You ain't got any civic pride at all. Why don't you lay for this Gila Monster some night and get him with a scatter gun?
Well, Jake did that and Gilman shot him first. Barney did that and was buried. Listen, Howdy. Just stand there and listen. There. Do you hear anything?
Not a thing.
There. No, not a thing. Here it is, 5:30. Just the time things used to warm up. And what do you hear? Nothing. It's like living in a grave, that's what. Yesterday, I rode 5 miles out of town and shot off 2 boxes of Henrys just to hear them, you understand. But it made me feel so bad that I had to quit. The town's gone to hell for keeps, Howdy.
Ain't I one of the founders?
Yup.
Didn't you and me and Poison here start this place? Didn't we agree I was to be the marshal from then on? Didn't I get the post office in here and run it? Didn't I start the Teamsters bringing their loads through here? Didn't I make this the finest trail herd stop in the state? And you think I'll desert the place? You think I'll stand here and let a rotten-bellied, four-flushing, 3/4-cent slime-whiskered, two-gunned hog ride all over Pottyville? Potterville? No. I came back here.
But there's a poster in his office that says you're wanted. It says you killed 3 cops in Chicago, and he read it.
Well, who cares about 3 cops? That's Chicago's lookout, that is. And if this sawed-off, black-livered son of a...
But he says there's a reward.
How much?
$1,500. He'll do anything for that much money. It says to ship your body back and collect.
Well, there's the hole in that. Everybody knows you couldn't ship a guy from here to Chicago and still recognize who he was. You know that. Here it is, summer.
Pop. Please. You gotta get out of town quick before we have to plant you in the ground.
Nope. I'll see Powderville through. I'll rid this fair city of the foul clutches of this steer-faced octopus. Gentlemen, before I leave this man, before we measure his length in dirt, what say we adjourn for a drink?
All right. We still got 15 minutes before the bars close.
Everybody was glad to see Howdy Johnson back, but not a single man failed to beg Howdy to leave Powderville. Howdy, they said, had never been known as a quick draw, flashy gunfighter, and killing 3 cops in Chicago certainly could not be considered more than casual practice. Any man in the town of Powderville could have done that. No, sir, said public opinion. No, Howdy was a damn fool to come back at all, especially when he heard he had a reward on him. At 6, the bar closed, as per the directions of an erratically printed sign bearing Gilman's name, which was posted on a 2x4 just inside the door. Howdy had been talking with loud assurance, occasionally patting his holster, eternally pounding his hairy fist on the sticky tabletop. And at 6 sharp, according to Lippy's watch, Howdy stood up. Everybody thought he looked a little nervous, though it was rather dim and it was hard to tell.
If you'll pardon me, gents, I think I'll take a stroll around. I ain't seen this fair city for 8 whole months, and I craves to satisfy my artistic appetite.
Elbows nudged ribs. Men looked wise. Howdy turned and walked slowly out of the back door. In a relieved way, Lippy said,
Oh, I was hoping he'd light out. I didn't want to see him murdered.
Poison Peter said,
Oh, me neither. But I wish he hadn't convinced me about coming back. Now I got all that drive to make all over again. Here I wasted 3 weeks and got nothing at all to show for it. But I'm happy he didn't stay.
Fanner Jones sneered.
Yeah, well, he talked pretty big for a while there, didn't he?
A stranger at the bar chuckled about it and said, this Gila Monster must be pretty bad if a man lights out before he even sees him.
Oh, you said it, mister. He's the
Gilman could be heard outside. Boards cracked and splintered from his weight on the walk. The steps into the saloon groaned. The doors slammed inward and jarred loose their slats. And there stood the Gila Monster, eyebrows close together and hovering like thunderheads.
There's a gent named Howdy Johnson in here.
He just left.
Croaked the barkeep.
Just left, did he? Well, you tell him if you see him that I want to talk with him. I want to convince him that this Powderville is the most peaceful, law-abiding town in the state. You tell him I invite him over anytime he wants. There ain't no posted gunslinger gonna sneak into Powderville while I know it.
Of course not.
What?
I said, of course not.
Gilman was fingering his gun, hopefully.
Your tone wasn't very civil. You, say, you're Poison Peters. You there. What's the idea of trying to run out on Porterville, huh? Well, you showed sense. You come back.
I'm leaving pretty quick.
That's what you think.
Oh?
You're going to open up the bucket of blood, so help me. Come on, pay up. To open a saloon in Powderville costs just $100.
But I had a saloon open here, and...
Are you calling me a liar?
No. Of course not. $100, you said? There you go.
That's better. Now, you can open up any time you like, but you can't sell liquor here after 6. But still, you opened up today, so I'll have to have the additional $50 that's charged law-abiding saloon keepers today.
But I haven't even...
Gilman swooped and sank pitchfork fingers into Poison's shoulder.
No!
Poison's chair threw
No!
him, and Poison lit in the sandbox.
No!
Gilman's eyes were alight with glee. Poison quickly fished out $50 and paid.
That's better. We gotta have taxes for roads and schools and things.
The stranger at the bar smiled and said, I don't see any schools or roads either, for that matter. Gilman turned carefully. He slouched forward and looked down upon the crown of the stranger's hat.
Who the hell are you?
Oh, I'm riding advance of the Slash Bar Trail herd.
That's fine, Mr. Trail Boss. I got a nice town here. And you'll stop, of course.
I don't think so. I see you're still alive, and so I think we'll head for Dead Horse Hole to water.
No water there, brother. At least, what is there got poisoned last month by a couple of wolfers, so I hear. You'll stop in Porterville, and you'll like it.
That settled. Gilman took a drink, grinned like a crocodile, and said to the room in general,
If you see this Howdy Johnson, tell him he's plumb careless with his horse flesh in his saddlebags. You tell him if he wants them to come and see me about it. You tell him he ain't got a thing to be scared of, as everybody knows how humane I am. You tell him I don't like to see a man suffer none, and so I always blow their hearts through their spines the first shot to prevent pain. That's my message, gents. The evil elements of society ain't got a chance in Powderville, and they knows it, from the Pecos to the Hudson Bay.
Steps groaned, and the sidewalk creaked, and Gilman was gone. The saloon was held in the grip of chilly silence. The only sound in Powderville came from the faraway blacksmith shop, and the hammer and anvil sound reminded everybody of a coffin maker's trade. Soon, incautious, Howdy would be ferreted out. Soon there would be a shot. Powderville would file out to view the last remains of Johnson. Oh, poor fella. Night progressed. The prairie wind came up and whined dismally around the buildings. And still no shot. And still no Howdy. Hours were nerve-stretching racks. Men huddled in silent, tight groups in the dingy shacks, still listening, unwilling to walk outside lest any one of them be mistaken for the Gila Monster's quarry. And still no shot. At midnight, Lippy whispered to Poison.
He must have left the country.
On foot?
He might have stole the horse.
I guess you're right, Lippy. Blood and bone can just only stand so much.
The barkeep said,
Yeah, well, I knew it was too good to be true. How'd he know he wasn't good enough? Lucky he got away in time, I says. No use for this here Gila Monster to carve all the butt from his irons.
The lingering stranger grinned. Oh, he talked big while he lasted, but looks to me like it'd take more than air to blow down this here Gilman. Yeah, no, you couldn't hire my boys to tangle with him. No, not for $1 million, you couldn't. Still, it ain't tasteful for a man to brag like that,
I guess it ain't.
said Fanner Jones.
I always knowed that Howdy was a lot of wind.
Lippy stood up.
No sense waiting any longer. The light's gone out in Gilman's office, and I'm bedding down.
The citizens of Powderville agreed with him, as it was long after midnight. Besides, you couldn't see to dig until morning, and Howdy Johnson, for all his talk, had undoubtedly hit trail. Morning came and found Powderville still viced in silence. That day found Gilman in high spirits. He spent a great deal of his time laughing, rather emitting that nasty buzzsaw sound which passed for his laughter. He told the Powderville citizens, one and all, a thorough search of the place had not revealed a trace of the missing man. He told Powderville that the mere mention of the Gilman name was enough to make criminals shudder from Maine to California. This flight of a gunman would stand forever as the lasting and final proof to the law-abiding reputation of Powderville. At 5:35, the reopened bucket of blood received a horrible shock. The gentlemen gathered there, already in the lowest depths of melancholy, were shaken. Howdy Johnson stepped into the back door. He walked to a table. He sat down. He ordered a drink. Boysen tried to pour it for him, but the amber fluid splashed on the bar from the wobbling bottle, unable to hit the shaking glass. Petrified, the other customers sat right where they were and stared.
Howdy, Poison. Looks like the Slash Bar crowd is, staying out of town.
Boysen swallowed hard. It was gruesome the way Howdy sat there talking about such small matters. In a matter of minutes, Howdy would be stretched out on dark-stained boards, and the silence of the town would be cut by scraping shovels. Oh, poor fella.
We thought you'd left.
Me? Me? Leave Powderville? I should say not.
But Gilman said...
Pish for what Gilman said.
Oh,
Gentlemen, I stated this last night that I was going to save Powderville from the talons of this stinking buzzard. That I aims to do so. Powderville, gentlemen, will live again. In the rosy future, I foresee a rough, tough, wild, and hilarious existence.
please beat it, Howdy. I couldn't stand to see you shot. Look here, Gilman will be in at 6 to make sure I've closed the bar and collect the take. He'll see you and he'll kill you. Honestly, he will. Howdy, I gotta look at that reward poster, and it sure has put him hot on your trail. It says you're bad. It's a direct challenge to Gilman's gunning ability. If he don't shoot you, he'll lose prestige. So you can see for yourself that there ain't no way for you to talk yourself out of it. Now at 6...
At 6, you go right on dispensing drinks.
What?
You heard me. Gentlemen, the curfew will not ring tonight.
Oh, no, yes, it will. Gilman will see to that.
Howdy took out a big silver watch and laid it face up before him. Behind it, he ranged a rank of full glasses. He marked the time. 5 minutes passed, making it 20 minutes to 6. Howdy took a drink. Another 5 minutes crept by. Howdy took another drink.
3 drinks to go. By the way, it's sure sinful the way that the evil sleep. I heard a lot said about the snoring of the just, but there ain't nothing in it at all.
5 long minutes, another drink. The tickety-tick of Howdy's watch raced merrily along. Powderville drifted slowly in, pale of face and jittery, watching the man soon to be a corpse.
You got $5?
Sure, I've got $5.
Then we won't have to take up a fund.
5 minutes, a drink. Tick, tick, tickety-tick went that awful watch. Citizens carefully left a wide path between Howdy and the door, and left the space from his back to the wall vacant. Howdy hummed a little song. 6 o'clock. The last drink went down. He did not bother to listen or to keep an eye on the door. Poison nervously began to put away the bottles.
No need for that. That slash bar outfit will be in here before the night's out.
The crowd watched him closely, as though he were a man of quite a different race, a sideshow freak.
He's light.
Tick, tick, tickety-tick. Creak, creak, creak came Gilman's footsteps on the walk. The planks groaned. The porch sagged in terror. The swinging doors volleyed. And there stood the Gila Monster. His boots reared out of the floor like 2 gigantic redwood stumps. His legs went upward like telegraph poles. His body hulked skyward like Pike's Peak. His head filled a hat big enough to make half a dozen tents, and his arms hung down like 2 boa constrictors ready for the kill. His lantern globe eyes had caught the full blow of Howdy's presence. He looked carefully, leaning forward, looked away, and stabbed his awful glance again. A smile opened a gash like the Grand Canyon on the Gila Monster's face. His arms began to swing, and he wet his lips with a tongue as black and long as a whip. A laugh started way down the caverns of his belly, rumbled upward, shaking the whole room, and emerged so loud that it cracked the mirror over the bar. Leather groaned as his holsters were relieved of the weights of his twin cannons. He spun the guns by his trigger guards.
You're getting an even break.
Thundered Gilman, centering his sights on Howdy's heart.
You, draw.
Howdy sat stiffly. It was difficult for him to move. He snapped out his Colt. Twin blasts streaked away from Gila Monster's muzzles. Howdy jerked backward and sagged over this table in front. Gilman chuckled and the room quivered. Everybody stared at poor Howdy. 2 holes were in his vest, just over his heart. His gun lay slackly in his stiff hand upon the tabletop, as though in his death agony. Howdy's fist clenched spasmodically. A look of stony surprise slept down like a mask over the Gila Monster's face. Gilman staggered. A third eye was blue and blind in his forehead. Knees buckling, gun falling, shoulders slouching, Gilman dropped. He toppled slowly like a felled tree at first, and then faster, and at full length he hit. The floor crunched beneath his weight. His legs doubled and shot out straight again, making his spurs jangle. His hands slowly relaxed.
They're dead.
Whispered Lippy. The citizens crept fearfully forward and stooped over the collapsed giant. Boots and hands rolled him over. His arms fell limply outward. His black mouth was agape. His eyes were fixed in a steely stare.
Poor Howdy. Poor Howdy. He gave up his life to rid us of this disaster. But his noble sacrifice shall never be forgotten. We shall build a monument to his civic pride that his fame shall forever endure. Gentlemen, let us drink to the unselfish heroism of Howdy.
Make mine rye.
Not a man moved.
I said rye.
Oh, they gave him rye. They gave him quarts and barrels of rye. They set down before him all the rye in Powderville and helped him drink it down. Guns banged in the streets. 3 mirrors were splintered in the first hour. Before 9 o'clock, 5 fights had started. By 10, a man had to shout to be heard more than 2 feet. In the midst of happy bedlam sat Howdy. He beamed with fatherly pride. He was fondly observing the feat of his workmanlike job, which protruded from under the pool table. Poison, weary of dispensing, at last found a moment to talk.
Howdy, anything you want is yours. Anything. Whatever you'd like to have us gents do for you, just speak up. We won't ask how you done it. We won't ask nothing but the privilege of honoring your presence among us. What do you have, Howdy?
If it won't be no bother,
Said Howdy, digging into his shirt.
there's a couple of bills I can square on account of not having any money.
Poison took them and read them.
The Ringtail Printing Shop. Printing 50 reward posters for H. Johnson, $5. Then that Chicago shooting was just a come on. But
The other bill said,
Powderville Blacksmithy, fine shoeing and iron work. Howdy Johnson, $25 for tailoring 1/4-inch sheet iron shirt as per specification. J. Olson, proprietor.